best crypto asset. Well, Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. Okay. What's the second best? There's no second best. There's no second best crypto asset. There's a crypto asset. It's called Bitcoin, right? Right? There's no second best. Okay. It's not like Google and Facebook. It's not like Apple and Amazon. Yeah, we can debate Apple or Amazon. What's better? They both look like tech monopolies to me. They both look pretty good. On the other end, Bitcoin or no, Bitcoin. Bitcoin's a crypto asset. This entire idea of like 60% dominance is bullshit, ridiculous, stupid, right? Like, it's stupid. It's not 60% dominant. It's like 96% or 95% dominant, right? The thing, and you compare it as a crypto asset to a like kind of proof of work crypto network, right?
I know that you can feel the pulse, and it's crypto's what you want. Look, fast to have in 6 to 12 months, can you imagine? That's just a sign of our passion to have PulseBitcoin be the attraction to switch to crypto. Cause you all know the Pulse got your back from the get-go. 1-to-1 versions of the coin you need. PulseBitcoin runs that deep. You can feel the pulse. You can feel the pulse. I know that you can feel the pulse. 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 I know that you can feel the pulse. And it's crypto's what you want. I know it seems scary, and you've been so wary. And Bitcoin ain't cheap, but let the pulse speak. Gotta thank Gunther for the opportunity to bring you this pulse in your time of need. You can feel the pulse. You can feel the pulse. I know that you can feel.
What's up, guys? Well, hey, guess what? It's not Fat Sammy or Sean, but you got Zombie Miner here today, along with some of my good friends from the community, Pulse Dojo and Zog. How you guys doing today?
What's happening? Happy to be here.
Absolutely.
How's it going, man? I was like watching that intro, first time on YouTube. So I'm like, hey, look at me, Mom. I'm getting goosebumps, man. This is so exciting.
Absolutely. So we got our first Monday night episode 1 of our Monday Night Pulse. So this is going to be a regular event. You're going to be seeing a lot more of us on here, and these shows are going to get better and better each time. So jam-packed edition today. We have some special guests on the show that will be coming on here shortly to talk about some massively bullish things. We're super excited for that. And we're going to cover some of the other things that are progressing as this community grows and grows and grows. So without further ado, let's get this thing kicked off. We're very organized today too, which is kind of nice. Zog, you've done a great job with pulling all this stuff together. So kind of here's some of the things that we're going to cover today. We're going to go through some current events, some future events, as well as other stats going on in the industry today. So first off, guys, I know you saw this. Another tweet from Richard. Looks like some more bullish news. We're getting closer every single day. My heart is beating faster each time. What do you guys think about this?
It sounds good. I think any news is good news. It certainly sounds like good news. I don't have the technical know-how to really analyze this to any degree other than it sounds like V3 is pretty close. V3 is obviously confirmed. I think the Hex price is kind of going up, obviously, in anticipation of this. And I can't wait to get on it, man. I haven't done much on the Pulse Chain testnet. I loaded the RPC settings and MetaMask and all that and just kind of dabble around, but haven't touched it for maybe a year or more. When V3 is out, I definitely want to get used to using it because someday, V3 might go live and then maybe a month later, I don't know how long it takes, but one day you're going to wake up, it's going to be live. And if you weren't messing with it, you might be lagging behind. So something to do for sure. Absolutely. And all this will be just a memory from the past, this waiting game that we got going on right now. Zog, what do you think about this, buddy?
You know what? I feel vindicated, where so many people that I tried to, like when I was really big into Hex in the beginning, and then I found this community, and now I feel vindicated. It's like, it's getting close, man. And I remember it talking in voice chat here a little while back, And I think it was JB that was asking, he's like, hey, what's your dream? What would you buy with your money, right? Like with your gains and stuff. It's like, I buy my freedom. That's the number one thing I want to get out of crypto, and I think that I'm excited for Pulse Chain. I'm excited for the ASIC and PulseBitcoin community because that's my ticket to freedom. That's my family's ticket to freedom. So
absolutely. Yeah, we all need those cheaper fees. It's going to make onboarding so much easier. So yeah, that's great news from Richard. Look, I'll be honest. He was quiet for quite a while, so it's exciting to see him back out there talking about what's going on. Keeping us rolling along in this waiting.
He's been suspiciously quiet. Like he normally is going full outrage marketing, the whole 9 yards, like posting silly videos in stores. Like he's been quieter the past, I'd say maybe 3 or 4 months than I've ever seen him be before.
Absolutely. The quiet before the storm. So hopefully it comes soon. I know all of us are excited, and we can't wait to see what that side of the economy is going to look like. So, all right. As you guys know, we are very, very active in the PulseBitcoin community. Lots of onboarding going on. We're all over the place, different countries, different states. We got the Telegram channels blowing up right now per region, which is great for, local boots on the ground onboarding. But right here, we got some cool stuff to talk about. And I got one of our good buddies sitting in the green room right now. And I know that he's excited to come on here and talk about some cool stuff. So before we get deeper into any onboarding, I would like to kind of talk with our buddy PulseBitcoin Lock. He's created some really cool things, as you can see here. He's already got 130,000 PulseBitcoin locked up just in the last week alone, which now is totaling 12% of the entire supply. So if that's not bullish, I don't know what is. Guys,
and a lot of that's long term, man. Like, that just means that some amount is that much amount is locked for some length of time. So there's some that's locked for 10,000 days, which is, that might as well be gone. that's so long away.
30 years, man. It's a long time.
That was that 180,000, or maybe that was for 1,000 days. There's some big, huge, long ones that are substantial, very substantial. You're talking about most Bitcoin gets into higher market caps. I mean, those could be huge dollar value locks. They can't be reversed, right? I mean, it's there's no going back, bud. I mean, that is a lock. It's not just a meme. This is cryptographically verified.
And what you're seeing is literally dedication, conviction, people that believe in a system that aren't afraid to put their money up in something. So that right there is commendable. It shows where the hearts and minds of this community lie. And it wouldn't exist if it wasn't for this gentleman. Let's bring him on here. How you doing today, KB?
How's it going?
It's going, buddy. You're the star of the hour right now, so I know that you got a lot of cool things to talk about, and we'll get into that. But I mean, did you ever expect this to take off the way that it has? I mean, just before the show, we talked about how all this stuff happened without any reward being paid. So did you ever expect this?
In a million years, I never expected it to get as big as it's gotten. It's probably going to get much bigger. And I don't want to sound like Trump, but it's going to be really big. You know what I mean?
Awesome, huge.
And yeah, I never expected it to get this big. It's just really exciting. It started as like a little side project that I thought would never really take off. And what I really assumed was people would just be yelling scam nonstop the whole time. But the truth is, I didn't get that reaction at all. Really, maybe one person, over the past 2 months or whatever. But it's amazing that for the most part, the community has been so welcoming and so accepting of this DApp or whatever. It's really cool.
Absolutely. And we were kind of when I was on the stream with Abit, we were kind of scrolling through some of these NFTs, and it's really touching to kind of see what some of the lockups stand for. Between people's futures of school, scholarship, or paying their way through tuitions, getting their dream car, their house. It's really interesting just to kind of see all the emotion that's wrapped up into that, and it's here to stay.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It always warms my heart to, every time one of those new NFTs pop up, I'll go over there, I'll read them. It's really nice, especially the one I think what's his name did for his mom on Valentine's Day or something.
Yeah. Hey, Zach, while we're talking here, can you pull that website up there and post Bitcoin Lock's website, and then we'll just share your screen real quick so we can maybe go through some of these NFTs so people can understand.
Also, sorry, I don't want to interrupt.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say the one that's on the screen right now, all the way to the right.
Yeah, I see it. It's just tiny for me.
That was made by a Pulse PLSD 420 Babuka, I think.
Yep, I know Babuka. Yep.
So that's a really cool one, just because I don't know if you've read the description for that one, but it's actually an advertisement for that person's product. They want to start, charging a little fee to edit pictures for people, and that was actually one of the intentions I had when creating this product. Is, if you want to get your business out in front of people's eyes,
it's a billboard.
You lock up a lot of PulseBitcoin for a long time, and you're basically on the top page.
Do you have the analytics of what the traffic count is to that website, maybe on a daily basis?
I haven't really been focusing on that.
Right. Much. Yeah, I know it's not super important, but
I do want to, there's so many things I want to get to.
Yeah.
But I feel like once April comes, I'll have like a lot more time. To do a lot of things.
We're excited for that, man. We're gonna get to that. I know I'm keeping people on the edge of their seats right now, and I love the control. But I really want to see. Zog, were you able to find that there, buddy?
Yeah, so I'm on the website right now. I'm just had to connect my wallet here, and my internet connection's kind of slow.
Okay, no worries. Take your time, brother.
Are you looking for the Valentine's Day one?
I was just looking here. Yeah, because it was prompting me to connect my wallet, and now it's just being slow.
Okay.
Well, you may not want to dox yourself. I don't know if it's going to show your wallet.
It shows giant bags. That's what he's going to show.
Oh, I wish. Trust me, I wish. No, I have one of my anonymous whatever wallets. That's the nice thing. You just do it real quick.
Okay. Right on. So I know that you mentioned April. It looks like we actually have a screenshot of some of your tweets up here, kind of explaining some of the stuff that we covered on the last stream with Abit. And it said end of March was some of the contract, and it looks like the final contract would be completed. Maybe I guess April is what you're talking about.
Yeah. That last contract is not gonna hold anything up. It's just more. It's gonna be like an extra thing, kind of not extra, but it's like kind of like the last part. But the rest of it can function just fine without that. But it'll just. I didn't want to hold up launch for that, so I figured I'll kind of release it in 2 parts.
Makes a lot of sense, man. I'm sure people are getting antsy, especially with let's talk about the elephant in the room, Dojo. The chart, 94 cents today. Some people it's the end of the world, other people it's a massive discount and they can't wait to buy. Where do you stand?
Yeah, man, I feel like it's a good opportunity for sure. The thing with the ASIC price, like it seems, I think under $1, it's basically a no-brainer, because I mean, in order for someone to be selling ASIC under $1, like you almost had to have had to buy it higher, because there's just only so many people who are willing to sell it to that price. The ATM event was basically $1 for as much as you wanted to fill during the ATM event, and then it went to, I think, of a high of 380. So to be selling it at that low of a price,
it sounds like a stop loss is what it sounds like.
Pretty much. Yeah. People are saying, well, hey, maybe V3 is coming out, so Hex is going to pump because everybody's going to throw their money into Hex for a snapshot, maybe. And then you look at Bitcoin and the market seems to be turning around. Some people are still bearish, but there's some opportunities around. Whereas this ecosystem in 2022 was doing so well when everything else was getting so wrecked. Maybe some people are willing to say, hey, I got the gains here, and let me try something else. That's kind of the thing when you're still a small ecosystem with a lot of hexagons, a lot of the same people. People tend to go in and out of the same coins. So it's kind of that situation where we're trying to onboard people and get people outside money, obviously, and Yeah, man. I think it's nothing but a good opportunity. I've been buying primarily Pulse Doge myself, but I mean, I think ASIC under $1 is a no-brainer for sure.
Can I get a loan, buddy? Because my dry powder is out. Why does that always happen? Why? I feel like that's the curse. Like when prices are the best, you're out of dry powder every single time.
It's just,
At least in my world.
it's like Murphy's Law, man. Like crypto
Okay.
has a way. It's like the bog meme. Crypto has a way of just doing the exact opposite at what you want at the worst possible time. It's like you send money to your exchange and they hold it for like 5 days, and the thing
And
you're
you
gonna
miss the
buy
pump.
just 2x'd.
Yeah,
It's
the
brutal, bro.
worst.
It happens all the time. It's like a
100%.
meme. True. I don't know how it's true for everybody, but it is.
Yeah. Zog, you got that website, buddy? Let's pull that up if you're ready.
Yes, sir.
Let's do it.
Alrighty. Share screen.
So yeah, if KB, if you want to go through some of these with us, and
Yeah, sure.
I'm sure
By
you
the
know
way,
some of these people,
I see in the chat, Sony said that I'm a giga dev.
but
I'm wondering if I could put that on my resume.
Yeah, man, I would say that's definitely a good title to have. You've actually done a ton for this community already, and we're very thankful of that. Zog, while you're letting that thing load here, I can see it's loading, but I'm gonna look through some of these comments here. It looks like the comments are picking up a little bit, and I want to say hi to everyone. We got PLSD Thailand, always a great fan, man. We love seeing you and everything you do. You're everywhere. It's great. JB, always great to see you, buddy. We're looking forward to your Twitter Spaces. I know those are coming up Wednesdays. Satoshi Nakamoto, buddy, if you're the real one, please give us some of your bags, please. OX Sony from India. We're going to cover some of his stuff too. He has a really cool video that they just did, and it's exciting to see what's unfolding out there. Fat Sammy, must be nice, brother, on vacation, sitting back, watching it while we're out here. We love you, bro. You've done so much to get this thing off the ground, and we're here to take it from this point. Who else we got in here? Looks about it. So Zog, if you're ready, brother, any day now, we will be happy to take that.
I'm ready when you are here. So I clicked on the share screen, whatever. Do you have to authorize me? I have it pulled up and everything.
There you are, sir.
Sweet. Boom. How about now? Can you see it?
100%.
All right, cool. Here we go.
Yeah, so KB,
13.5%. Wow. That's new.
Yeah, it just updated, right? Wow. So what created that? There's dates on here to see when they were started, right?
I don't know, but the last time I looked, there was like 170 something, and now there are 195.
Is it sorted by the biggest ones by default right here? Is that what we're looking at? The largest first?
I believe so. Yeah.
You
could sort by ID. And if it goes backwards, then you'll have like the most recent first.
So that's a good point. So you said it sorted NFT ID number 6. So 180,000 PulseBitcoin. He was number 6. So he just YOLO'd that in there. Like, I mean, that's pretty legit, man, honestly.
That's setting the pace, brother. He definitely took the lead on that one.
I think we can't understate here the fact that, I mean, yeah, we got 195 in here, over 700,000 PLSB locked, but a total value of over $600,000.
That's insane.
That's crazy. I mean, like, we're talking about a project that's not even 6 months old yet, with 13.
It's not even a month old.
We're less than 2 months.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, absolutely.
That's insane. And on top of that, you got Pulse Bitcoin is deflationary. So, I mean, you're not going to be able to buy any soon. That's for sure.
If you think Pulse Bitcoin is deflationary now.
Oh, yeah. Well, why don't we get into that? So I'm sure people have seen this website. But let's be honest, we're all here to hear the big news that you're about to drop. And I know you can't say everything, so don't feel pressured. There's no gun to your head. But the more you can give us, the happier we'll be for sure.
Yeah, sure.
So yeah, man.
You want me to?
Absolutely, man. Break open that can of worms.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so I would say, just to kind of summarize what's already been talked about and kind of like what my incentive was to do this whole new project.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, as most people probably are aware of who are watching this, probably the biggest question I got when releasing PulseBitcoin.app was, why should I lock up my coins in this NFT? And I would say, we have some really good reasons. I think Wolverine tweeted out the two kind of primary reasons that there are. One is, basically as the hodl tool, just a way to kind of prevent yourself from selling.
Right.
The second one was security, which actually wasn't one of my original intentions, but came out to be a really cool feature.
Yeah, the non-transferable aspect of that is pretty cool. That can save you if you get your whole wallet hacked, right? So
yeah, absolutely.
It goes above and beyond. Yeah,
absolutely. And I think there are like four other main reasons to lock up, which I talked about on my pinned tweet. But I think what most people want when they lock up their coins is yield. And that was really my main incentive to create this next project. And I didn't want to just give away anything, like a kind of like a sell dump token. Right. So the thing that PulseBitcoin lock NFT holders are going to get, I think, has some real value. And the second part, I would say the second incentive was related to Pulse Dogecoin. And Pulse Dogecoin, started off such a cool project. It was released, equitably to Hex stakers, and a really nice distribution. And I think at first, the community took to it really well, and it has a lot of holders and a lot of people like it. And just like Pulse Bitcoin, where it has like the Bitcoin symbol, like this has the Doge symbol, and a ton of people like it. But I think after the ASIC transformation period, a lot of people were left wondering, like, what are we going to do with this coin?
Yeah.
And there is a lot to say for the fact that it's a meme coin, and that in and of itself could, make it successful long term. But I just thought it had so much more potential to do a lot more. So there's going to be a really cool staking mechanism for Pulse Dogecoin.
Awesome.
I'm really excited about it. It's going to tie into the whole Pulse Bitcoin lock NFT rewards in a way, I think, which I'm not going to go into now, but it all basically ties together. And every other smart contract in the whole ecosystem kind of like feeds into those two things. And actually a third thing, which is also really cool.
Oh man, you're killing us over here. So I got questions. I got questions.
Yeah, sure.
First one is, and I don't know if you can answer them. I hope you can.
Yeah, sure.
But the reward is going to be a native token. Is it going to be a new token?
I'd rather not get into the exact details of that.
I know that'll probably give it all away, but I got to know a little something.
But it's gonna be really cool. I think everyone's gonna like it. And yeah, I mean, like, again, the whole ecosystem I'm building, it's meant to reward people in Pulse Bitcoin, ASIC, Pulse Dogecoin, even Hex.
Yeah, I heard that. That's interesting.
Actually, two more things people are gonna be able to be rewarded in, and there's going to be a lot of different ways in which you could get those rewards. And yeah, I like I mentioned in the pinned tweet, I definitely borrowed some of my favorite ideas in the Hex ecosystem. One of my favorite things from like the Icosa kind of world. One of my favorite things from the Maximus DAO, ecosystem. Okay. And I definitely, I didn't copy like any code or anything like that, but I definitely was inspired by some really cool ideas that they have in their ecosystem.
There's nothing wrong with that. That's where innovation comes from. You take something, you make it better.
Right. Yeah.
Plus you can tell you're a legit Hexagon, man. I mean, to even be talking about Icosa and even, all the Hex derivatives, I mean, that just goes to show you, man, like we're all Hexagons here for real.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, probably Hex or something similar to Hex is probably one of my biggest bags. Yeah.
Interesting.
Right on.
So would you say that you did mention that it would also pay holders in ASIC? Can you talk a little more on that at all?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So what I did mention this in the tweet there. There is going to be a ASIC community miner, and I don't think it's going to be a lot like what people expect. I know that Corky, the other dev in the community, I think he's working on another type of kind of ASIC community miner.
Okay.
And I think what he is going to end up building, I think, would be more intuitively what people would expect of an ASIC community miner, where it's kind of like set it and forget it type of thing, where you just kind of, I don't want to talk for his project at all because I don't know anything about it, but I would assume what he's building is something where you could just deposit your ASIC, and then you don't have to think about it like every month. It's just kind of like you might lose maybe a percentage of the yield, the PulseBitcoin yield, as kind of like the price you pay for not having to think about it.
Right.
But that's what he's going to build. Mine is more of a fun. Man,
we're so excited. This is so hard to talk about because we're just getting bits and pieces, but we're absolutely ready for this.
It's a fun ASIC community miner. That one I'm kind of most excited for people's reaction to it. That should definitely be a fun one.
Right on.
And again, like I mentioned before, like something like that's one of the examples of something that's going to feed into the rewards for, let's say, for example, the post Dogecoin staking or something like that.
Right on, man.
So let me ask you this: have people's current behavior on like what they've done, as far as buying more, free claiming, does any of that factor into how those rewards or mechanics are going to play out, or is it all going to just be dependent on what people choose to do when it launches?
Sorry, I didn't understand the question. Can you repeat that?
As far as the mechanics of how your staking or your rewards or how all this operates, will people's past behavior, like as far as how much they free claimed or if they bought their mining behavior, will that affect that system, or is it just going to depend on when your system launches how they choose to interact with it?
Oh, I think I understand. No, it'll have nothing to do with past behavior of how they free claimed or what they did with their free claim or anything like that. It's basically, I'll reveal this. So when it comes to at least, let's say, the PulseBitcoin lock NFT rewards, one of the interesting things about that the original PulseBitcoin lock contract, the contract itself. I mean, I've talked about the contract before. Corky did a review about it, and if you take a look over there, I don't actually store in the contract, believe it or not, I don't actually store the start date of when the person locked up their NFT. I only store like when it could be unlocked. So one of the consequences of that was not being able to I basically have to force people to register their NFTs for reward, because I don't have access to when they locked up, like when's the start date of when they locked up. So that's why they have to kind of register their rewards, and then basically the rewards will start that day that they register. And for all the people that locked up previously, and this is a question I've been getting a bunch lately in the Telegram and DMs, for all the people that locked up, from launch up until the launch of the next project, you're not going to lose out on any rewards, because I kind of built in a little mechanism to give a special bonus to like the people who early locked up. So the normal rewards will start from when you register your NFT, but the people who locked up earlier than that won't be losing out. Basically, if anything, they might be getting actually more.
I like that. I like that a lot, because that was a big leap of faith, and I think those people deserve to get rewarded.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think they're definitely going to get maybe a little, maybe a lot. It's hard to really tell, but they're definitely going to get. They're not going to lose out. Let's put it that way.
Right.
And we're like, this is coming up pretty quick, isn't it? I'm looking at the tweets here. So this is all public knowledge. It's like the audits are already underway, and we're looking at like a possibly, early to mid-March. That's really exciting. And I want to express my gratitude that one, you're getting it audited, right? So many projects out there, they don't get their stuff audited. And then the next thing you know, like there were supposed to be bonus rewards and stuff. And then all of a sudden they're not there. Like, well, that sucks. Right. And then the other part of it is like that you're releasing completed products, no promises, right? Like basically once it's launched and it's on the, it's launched on the blockchain, it's just you and the code. There's no one else involved, no third counterparty risk or any of that stuff. So I just appreciate that's the approach that you take to your projects.
Absolutely. If anything, I am thinking about even doing a second audit with a certic, probably during maybe the launch phase, maybe a little bit after that. But you can never go wrong. Why not? Why not do the more the better? You know what I mean?
I mean, it builds confidence, right? Go ahead.
Right on. Yeah. No, just to clarify, there was no SAC for any of this. I have to assume you've paid for the audit yourself. I don't recall hearing you asking for money, so I don't think that can be understated, man. There's sacrifices left and right, and you don't find any of that in any of these tokens that we're involved with. Pulse Doge, Pulse Bitcoin, ASIC, Pulse Bitcoin Lock right here, which, this is an official part of the project, but the community's taken to it so much it might as well be. But nobody has asked you for anything.
Yeah, it's I definitely heard that loud and clear that the community doesn't like that kind of thing, and I also don't. I mean, I'm tired of all the sacrifices.
Yeah, bear market is not a time for sacrifices, man. It's a time people should be buying dips.
Right. I've definitely done my fair share of sacrificing, and I kept telling myself I'm done. I've done this one after that one after that. But yeah, I've definitely put my own money into the audit, my own money into, Ethereum fees. Believe it or not, if you think like a swap is expensive, smart contracts is way more expensive than that. Especially if you're doing a project with 8 smart contracts, it's a lot. So.
Yeah, we need Pulse. Guys, real quick here, don't want to cut off this conversation. I just want to bring to the attention that we do have DCA Hex in the green room. He's going to be coming on here very shortly to talk about a stunt that he's got going on. I just want to let him know that we see him, and we will bring him in very shortly.
And if I may here before we transition here shortly, Zurex Sunny had a question for you.
Sure.
And it says, will there be more reward for non-transferable NFT?
There's not. I think I tweeted that out early on in the development of the project. I'll look for that tweet, but I think for the most part, every single person that responded to that tweet, maybe they just had transferable NFTs and they didn't want non-transferable to be rewarded more. But pretty much every single response to that tweet was they should be rewarded the same. So I just went that way. It would be really easy to change that, but yeah, I don't want to. It's a little unfair because if I reward non-transferable NFTs more, then all the people who made transferable are going to say, "Hey, if I would have known, I would have done a non-transferable," that type of thing. So I think it's just good to keep it even at this point.
Cool, thank you.
All right, any other final thoughts, Kate?
I'd like to ask you something, if I could, real quick.
Sure, yeah.
So the property that goes along with the non-transferable, whereas a hacker who gets into your wallet can't actually take it out. So if it's locked for 10 years, the hacker would have to come back 10 years later. Was that intentionally part of the design, or did that just kind of come about and you're like, oh wow, this is actually a great feature?
That was not part of the design at all. In fact, I want to credit Corky, the dev, the other dev, for it was actually his idea to make non-transferable. Like that wasn't part, transferable wasn't part of the project at all to begin with. I think that came about, if I recall correctly, we were discussing in the Telegram group, like how can we reward people and not have them sell. And the problem arose, well, if I mint my own NFT, where the coins are locked up, well, then I can't give that NFT to the recipient as a reward because wait, how did that go? Whatever. Basically, we were trying to figure out a way to reward Oh no, that was the mint2 function. That idea. He came up. I forgot. It was a while ago. I'm a little tired right now. Basically, the non-transferable was not part of the original part of the project. I think that was Corky's idea a while back. But yeah, it's definitely a really cool feature. And in fact, it looks like Wolverine in his tweet today looks at that as one of the primary features of it.
It's really incredible, and the fact that it was just kind of emerged is insane. I've never heard of anything like that in crypto, and it's like it really is hack proof. I mean, yeah, I mean the person can come back and be waiting there, but the odds of that are pretty low, right? I mean, they probably won't even. So yeah, that's very interesting. I think that could be a compelling narrative in the future. Maybe not the most exciting thing because security isn't super exciting until you get wrecked and you wish you would have cared, but it's very, very cool.
Cool. Nice. Well, there's a lot more where that came from.
Awesome. KB, we would love to check back with you as things progress, maybe next Monday, or if you got any new details. Of course, we don't want to beat a dead horse, but yeah, if anything pops up, man, please let us know. We would love to.
We'll definitely be in touch. I definitely want to, once the white paper is released and everything, and for sure once we launch, I'm definitely going to want to get back on and answer people's questions and things like that. And
we appreciate that.
Yeah, so for sure.
Absolutely. Well, hey, we thank you for coming on, KB. You've been a great addition to this community, and just keep on trucking, man.
Yeah. Sorry, I missed that. What did you say?
Oh, no, I was just giving you thanks, brother. We really thank you from the bottom of our heart for you doing all this stuff for the community, and just keep on keeping on, man.
Yeah, you're welcome, and I want to thank the community for being so welcoming and taking to this project so nicely. And I guess stay tuned. We're not that far away.
Absolutely. All right, brother. Well, you have a great night.
Alrighty, good night.
Good night.
Cool. So we are going to. Well, let's kind of talk a little bit about this story before I bring Rob on here. I know he's been waiting patiently in the green room. A while back, one of our good buddies, Gunther, put a challenge out for 10,000 PulseBitcoin to consume a live tarantula. Who would have thought? I don't know that he actually thought that someone would be crazy enough to do it, but we are very thankful for this. And I would love to bring on Rob right now, aka DCA Hex, who has, let's just say he has stepped up to take the challenge. Rob, how you doing tonight, man?
Good. Can you hear me?
Absolutely.
Good. I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Doing quite well, man. We all the team is here. We're really excited to kind of hear your story. I know that you've been going through a lot of ups and downs with this whole process of securing one of these buggers. But we would love to kind of have you just take us through what that's been like.
Well,
first off, what made you even think to want to do this?
As soon as he mentioned it, I jumped on it, and it was one of those things where then you think about it afterward, and
it's too late now, right? You can't say
it's a little late. It's a little late. But there's a number of things that kind of helped me to really jump on it, and I honestly thought there would be more than just myself doing it, and that there might still be, and I hope there is. So then I think the part of it is there's been a number of people that have done different types of kind of outrage marketing types, and Gunther with the video challenge that he first came up with, and to see how many people jumped on that and how much excitement was brought up with that. It was to be in this market where it's down and there's all kinds of reasons to be negative. Here we are. I was making videos, and I know a number of other people were as well. And in this kind of down market, I'm finding creative ways and fun ways to kind of like, hey, what can we do? I was talking with my daughter. She's into animation. we ended up not able to really get the video completely done. But what it started me doing was it taught me, CapCut is the animation that's really available on the phone. And after that little challenge was over, I thought, I'd really like to kind of start sharing a 2-minute video here and there about what people can do. Maybe they don't have a lot of money. Maybe they're on a budget. What can people do? What can I do to, gear myself and pivot toward really at this time buying more of what I'd like to buy, as far as crypto, as far as ASIC goes, and PulseBitcoin, and so it was starting those little videos of not going to Starbucks and taking $15 a day and using that toward ASIC, and then that I'm like, that it really. I was surprised in this market that here I am having just thinking about making a video, how to create it, how to put it together, how to make it better, how to do it where it's more calm, and then there's a lot of competition with that, and so a guy sitting in a car talking about not going to Starbucks and using it for buying ASIC tokens is interesting, but when Gunther came up with eating a live tarantula, I thought, there's something to that, because number one, that's people are terrified of tarantulas and spiders, and I thought, what if I was able to kind of bridge the idea of, if I did my own homework and my own research with finding out more about types of tarantulas, what they really do, are they venomous? Are they poisoned? It's important to find out if this is going to injure me or not. Is it possible to do this safely?
Right.
And the more I found out about them, and I'm actually going to have a couple of them to keep, because I'm just so fascinated with them that and a lot of that was just doing the research, which I know I would not have ever done. And that's what I think of. My first white paper that I read was actually PulseBitcoin from front to back. And I kept reading it, and I highlighted parts that I didn't understand, and I kept it in my backpack, and really took a lot more of a hands-on approach about what can I do to understand this better and not rely on somebody else.
Right. It's pretty simple too, I'd have to say. The white paper, I've read many, but that one is very easily digestible.
It is. And so that's part of it, was doing my own research and bridging that with, as much as people have a fear of tarantulas, I've spoken to family and friends, and there's a number of people that will not touch crypto no matter what.
Right.
They really don't want to talk about it. They hear all the bad things on the news, and they don't want anything to do with it. So there's that aspect of it. And then there's also one of my favorite, there's a documentary on this guy named Shep Gordon. And he turns out to be the manager of a lot of different rock stars and movie stars and chefs. And he was the manager for Alice Cooper.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And Alice Cooper, one of their first events, what they did was, he told Alice Cooper, get up on stage. It was a small venue. He said, get up on stage. You're going to be in a clear plastic clothing where they can see through, and you're going to be completely naked.
Oh, man.
You're going to get up on stage, and while you're doing that, I'm going to call the cops and tell them that there's somebody up on stage completely naked, and they need to come shut this place down and get rid of you,
Yeah.
He calls the cops show up. And by the time the cops show up, Alice Cooper's been moving around so much, and it's so hot and steamy that you can't see through it anymore.
Right.
So that was kind of a fail, but the marketing was brilliant. And they ended up doing a number of different things like that. he was signed up to play Wembley Stadium in London, and they didn't have anybody buying tickets. So they put Alice Cooper's name on all the sides of these vans and semi-trucks, drove them down to the center part of London and broke them all down on purpose in the middle of like 5 o'clock traffic.
Yeah.
Helicopters show up, and suddenly the stadium sells out because it's all over the news.
Well, yeah, that's outrage marketing at its finest. I really like
Exactly.
what you're doing, for sure.
And so the idea with this is, if 1 or 2 people end up kind of looking past that, because I've had a couple of comments, well, you're going to kill the spider, and yeah, that's what's going to happen. But at the same time, a little bit beyond that is more of an example of people will pay attention to this. Just because it's like driving by an accident, you're going to look.
Exactly.
It's going to be part of the lore, right? Because so everybody, it's such a huge talking point to this day. The guy, I believe it was 10,000 Bitcoin for 2 pizzas. So 10,000 Bitcoin at Bitcoin's top would have been $690 million.
Right.
So now we're gonna, instead of the Bitcoin pizzas, we're gonna have the PulseBitcoin tarantula. 10,000 you're gonna get. So if PulseBitcoin went to $100, that would be $1 million spider. So if somebody, it's like the question, okay, would you eat a tarantula for $1 million? Most people would probably say yes. If you say, would you eat a tarantula for 10,000 PulseBitcoin? Most people would probably say no. And it could be more than $1 million down the road. You have no idea, but it's going to be part of the lore, and it's going to be so interesting to see.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
I was going to say the way I look at it. Sorry, Zach, I didn't mean to cut you off.
You good? You go for it, man.
The way I look at it is it's going to create virality, and the purpose of us onboarding new, maybe even no coiners, is to get in those places where they don't typically hang out. And I think that something like that is definitely going to get shared out of those bounds, and that could bring some new people into crypto in general. And well, let's be honest, maybe the sacrifice of this poor little tarantula could give financial freedom for a lot more people. So I like what you're doing, man. I know there's going to be some blowback for sure. There always is. And it is what it is. I think you have more support than not.
Well, and I do want to say one thing. It goes to show you my interactions with Gunther are such that I know that he's a man of his word. And that says a lot about this community.
Absolutely.
So if I go in and do this, I know on the other end, there's going to be follow through. And if I didn't know him or had been involved with the community enough to get to know people on my own and connect, that might be different. And it might be different in other communities, but in this one, that's what makes it unique. So.
Absolutely. Well, we thank you for putting your ass in the line. Zog, I know you had something to say.
Well, I was going to say, like, I really like what Pulse Dojo said with regards to, the $10,000 pizza or whatever. I was like, man, maybe I should go eat a tarantula. But what the next thought that came up after that was like, we should revisit this tarantula challenge here, like 1, 2, 3 years down the line and do the same dollar amount, but for I don't know, whenever PulseBitcoin reaches, I don't know, say $100 or something like that, do it again, but it's going to be for a lesser amount. And we can show it's like, hey, this guy did it for 10,000 PulseBitcoin. And now like we've grown so much and now we're doing it for less, but for same dollar amount, but less PulseBitcoin.
Right. Awesome. So quick question here, Rob, before you head out, buddy. Out of the 3 coins, what's your favorite? Put you on the spot real quick.
Boy, that's tough. I personally, I like right now, it may be different, a few months from now, but I like ASIC the most.
I'm with you, man. I'm with you.
Just because of the 2-for-1, it's working, and it's working for 30 days, and I'm getting something else. And when this first came up, I'll be honest with you, I didn't understand that I kept the value of my ASIC. Mm-hmm. And once I got over that hump of what that really meant, that the value is kept and you're mining something else and you're getting both back,
right,
that was a no-brainer. So.
Absolutely. And to add to that, the reason that I'm kind of super bullish on it, aside from the monthly PulseBitcoin mining, is that I know that there's a lot of other things being built around ASIC right now. And so it's going to be the mining token for a lot of things, I feel. And I'm really excited to kind of see what that looks like. So any new money, new economic energy is getting put into PulseBitcoin for sure. You can never have enough of that. Awesome. But yeah, I'm an ASIC guy too, man. Zog.
Go ahead.
You first, buddy.
I was just going to say that I like, because I've heard the what is it, Pulse Litecoin rumor kind of floating around a little bit, and really I was actually looking on eBay for an old ASIC miner to kind of have around and to physically show people the difference of this versus a digital version of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sometimes I don't know if people kind of coming into this know what that means, but
the complications, all the energy costs, and even building one, you got to know what you're doing. So it's not for everyone, that's for sure. No. Whereas this is for everyone. Absolutely. Zog, I have a thing of cutting you off tonight, buddy. I know that you were trying to chime in there. So.
Well, I mean, I didn't have anything particularly. I hit it earlier with the whole tarantula thing, but I think that as far as I really like your analogy there. We're like having the physical ASIC miner, right? Because when I talk to people about PulseBitcoin and like trying to onboard people and stuff like that, they're like, well, I wish I could mine, Bitcoin. And like, how do I mine Bitcoin? Can I still do that from my laptop? I'm like, well, kind of, but not really. Right. So like you can't do it on legacy Bitcoin, but you can with this one that I'm interested in. Right. And then it's so easy to explain it to them. And they're like, oh, I don't have to buy any like physical thing. I don't need to be a dev and like run that node or whatever it is. And nope. All you do is you just get some ASIC, you lock it away, and it's a 90% APY right now for the first halvening. It cannot be understated that you're getting trustless yield denominated in PulseBitcoin to the tune of 90% APY. It's like, dude, try to beat that in any crypto right now at 90% APY.
Well, even after this happening, even at 45%, try to find that, even that's still high.
And so think about this too. So like right now, ASIC is only used to mine PulseBitcoin. But what happens when that mining energy, because there's only a limited amount out there, like I think 21 million or something to that effect, ASIC currently in existence. But then like you have the possibility of Pulse Litecoin coming out. You have Coast Guard Vets coin that's coming out. So let's say you reduce it by overall mining power by, say, I don't know, 30% or something like that, getting divided up into the other ones. Like, holy crap. You know what that means is that I can continue to mine PulseBitcoin at, let's say it's second happening, right? At, 45% APY for longer. That means I can accrue that value longer versus having to, basically split it up amongst the other ones. You get to, and it gamifies it, right? Because you get to choose like, well, do I want the new shiny coins or do I want PulseBitcoin? That's like speculative stickiness. That's really, really valuable.
Right. Absolutely. Oh shoot. We just lost Rob.
Rugged.
He got rugged. There he is. He's back on. Let me add him back in here. There he goes. There you are. All right, Rob. So let's talk about when this is happening. You got a date and time for us?
Tomorrow night and tomorrow evening, based on kind of where everybody's location is at, but it will be 5:00 Mountain Time, 7:00 Eastern Time.
Okay. And you're doing that right here on the PulseBitcoin live channel, correct? With Sammy?
Exactly.
Excellent.
Yes. Yep.
Well, guys, you heard it. You definitely want to be here for this. This is something you don't want to miss. It's not for the weary. If you don't like seeing that type of stuff, I would recommend not viewing. But
hey,
we're all excited to see.
Are you allowed any condiments, any ketchup, anything like that?
You have
Boy,
to
I tell you
enjoy
what,
it.
the closer this has gotten, the more I've been thinking of exactly of that. What can I pour on this thing to kind of help it out to ease the process? That has not been discussed, but I'm going to assume no. So there is a couple of people that I've watched that have done it just completely raw, and I kind of have there's a certain technique you want to go with, and it looks like it worked out well. So I think that's probably just better to just go at it straight and hope for the best. So I'm sure there's going to be gagging. I'm not eating lunch tomorrow. Let's just I'll have water and that's about it around and yeah, it'll be it. Yeah, this is kind of fear factor, PulseBitcoin, kind of thing going on. So it will definitely grab some attention and that's the idea. So.
And I heard that
those little hairs on those legs tickling your throat.
The texture is what's going to kill you, man. Like that's what I think about. Is that,
don't gross him out. He can't back out now.
No. There's a way you have to do it where I don't want to say too much, but you kind of help it to be severed immediately, and so that reaction is lessened where it's not going in active in a sense. But that's yeah. It'll definitely be a trial by error, and everybody gets to see it. So.
And they said that you have to enjoy it or you don't get paid. So make sure it's all
you'll
smiles,
see the fakest. You will see the fakest smile. I don't know how a smile and a gag is going to happen at the same time, but
I can just envision guts dripping down your face, brother. This is going to be disgusting, and I love it.
I think I wish you didn't necessarily had to enjoy it, because I wish that wasn't a rule, because I feel like the more you sensationalize it, the more it's going to go viral.
I don't think they'll enforce that rule.
Well, believe me,
if he did it, man, he needs to be paid. That's for sure.
I've thought about how to make this more viral, as far as like getting halfway through it and literally like falling over, passing out, and just having it dead air for a few seconds. And, I mean, just because it's that kind of thing of what could you do that people would go, what the heck just happened? And so but it's hard to think about that when the focus is on how is this just
surviving. That's what you got to think about. Eating it right.
Just to get it done where I can still eat the next day.
Absolutely. You don't want to get a stinger to the tongue. That ain't good. So, but man, we love you for what you're doing. You've been a great member to this community, really helping to bring eyes to it. And that's just commendable. So we appreciate you, Rob. Thanks for coming on tonight, man.
I'll let you know how many days it takes of me brushing my teeth to have my wife kiss me again.
Absolutely.
So I'll let you know how that goes.
So your family knows about this?
Kids don't. Kids don't.
That could be traumatic, I'm sure. So
someday.
Yeah.
One day, yeah.
Awesome. Probably the next day at school. On YouTube.
Yeah, right. When they see it online. Yeah. All right, brother. Well, thanks again for coming on.
No problem.
We'll
Thanks for
definitely
having
be
me.
tuned in tomorrow to see you do this stunt. And well, man, good luck to you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
All righty.
Good luck tomorrow.
So there goes Rob, man. Geez, guys, I don't even know. Is that something you think you could do?
I'm thinking about what's going to happen when it comes out on the back end.
Oh man.
Oh Lord.
Oh my God.
Yeah, dude. Like, honestly, it's such an easy. If you think about it, like physically, what do you have to do? You have to chew your mouth a couple times. It's such an easy way to make potentially a life-changing amount of money, but still, I'm not interested in doing it, man. Like, I think it's like one of the best financial decisions you could probably ever make, but like, I'm not doing it.
I mean, he definitely has to study what he's doing, because one false move, man, and you're not going to feel so great. So, yeah, props to him, man. People will do anything to get us out in the, eyes on the community, and I absolutely love that about this.
And I'm so excited to see, year over year what that dollar amount becomes, right? Like, because that's the thing, like, it's so no one wants to do it right now, but this one guy, but you know, 5 years down the road, if the amount becomes so big, then like everybody would do it. It's like, hey, for 10 million bucks, would you eat a tarantula? Almost everybody would probably say yes, right? They just close their eyes.
Oh, for sure, man.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it'll be so interesting to see. I think it's going to be great.
What about you, Zog, man? Is that something you think you could get down on? You said that you would do it if they paid you.
Well, I didn't. Well, I'm looking at like current prices. I was like, okay, so like, let's just call it $10,000. Like $10,000, like that's a decent amount, right? But when we start saying like $10 million, like why are we even talking about it? Where's the tarantula? Like, just hand it over to me.
Absolutely, man. Steal it from him. Well, that's cool though. So yeah, we will all tune into that tomorrow. I think he said 7 o'clock Eastern. So I know I'll be there. That's for sure.
I want to see it. I want to see the look on his face. Like,
absolutely.
Oh my gosh.
So let's get back into the swing of things here. We already covered all this stuff here. Let's talk about onboarding. I mean, that's one of the most important things to a growing community. And well, Lord knows that we do a lot of it. So I think I would like to cover with you guys some of the things that are currently going on. And I know that you guys are a part of some of this stuff too, which is interesting. Zog, you've been on the Twitter Spaces, correct? I think Pulse Dojo also, right?
Yeah, that was kind of an interesting thing, right? So I remember Richard Hart and other people talking about it's like, hey, it's not, you know, it's not Hex Info's job to pump our bags, right? It's not anybody else's to pump our bags except for our own, right? And I don't remember who I was talking to in the Twitter Spaces, well, excuse me, not Twitter Spaces, Telegram chat. And we're like, man, we need to get like Twitter Spaces going. It's that's a really good onboarding tool. And my initial thought was like, yeah, somebody should do that. We should get like a coordination group. And then I was like, I could do that. Like, that's not that hard.
That's when the Telegram channel created or happened, right?
Yeah. And then like, so people like, and that's one of the things that I find so bullish about this community. Like, I made the Telegram group in there. I worked with that other. I wish I need to pull up his name. I want to give credit where credit's due. And so he and I just like people just started jumping in there and just like, hey, let's do this, that. Like, we need to host. And like everybody in the community was contributing to ideas and like and just being a team player and coming out there and supporting and stuff. Because I want to shout out to the voice chat because that was I got into.
Oh yeah, you have a screenshot, right?
Oh yeah, well it's on one of the others. It's on the future slide there, but like the fact that we'll hit it later too. But like, man, the fact that we have like, I think we had 31. I think there was 31 today in the voice chat. Like, what kind of crypto community has 31 people in a voice chat, but that's only been around for 6 months? Like,
well, not only that, but all the other communities too. Do they have a marketing group, a meme group? The YouTube group, like there's groups for every single facet of this community, and they're all busy, and I love that.
Yep, and it's every Wednesday. I think the time varies. I forget what time it is. It's on a future slide. But I mean, I got to give a shout out to Sonny. Like, man, I mean, one of the other things we're talking about for onboarding. I did not know this about India here, but like I don't remember if they're the number one or at a bare minimum they're the number 2 user of crypto out there. And it's such an untapped market, right? And the people over there have so much to benefit, especially when you get in on a project early. And he, for that video that he posted up there, which we can roll here in a couple minutes, that he posted up a video and he got over 3,000 views in one day. Like, and that was actually a couple hours because I was expecting to stream that here before too long at the time that I made this slideshow. But 3,000 views in one day for like, I mean, he's killing it over there.
Pulse Dojo, you were saying something, brother.
I think I may have just been cutting out there, but yeah, I mean the community is 100% grassroots, right? The community is stepping up. Hex Info has nothing to do with any of this stuff. People just started doing Twitter Spaces on their own. We started doing this YouTube channel. Everybody helping out has done it on their own volition. And you're right, man. 31 people is nothing to scoff at for just a Telegram chat, especially when prices are down here too. It's not like we're 2xing in a day and like everybody's jumping on voice chat to see what's going on. Like, this is a real community, man.
Well, not only that, but I'm looking at who's coming into the chat. Like, we recognize a lot of the faces, but there's a lot of people coming in I don't know, and I like that because that just means there's new members coming in. I'm seeing the size of the group is growing. I think we're at 9,500 members right now or something like that. which is interesting. So yeah, there's a lot of growth in this community, and it takes a lot of members to do this, and everyone's doing their job, and I absolutely love that. So Twitter Spaces every Wednesday. It's typically at 7:15 is what I've seen, and I think you actually have that on here. And a lot of people are coming on to those things, and not to mention the views on the back end. I think the last one got over a couple thousand views or something after a while. So very interesting.
I think it's a lot of, right now, you could even say we might need some more people to be questioning the project. Maybe not being antagonistic, but if you went there and you don't like the project or you have concerns, go in there. This is not a hug box. This is a free speech platform.
Absolutely. And we're completely transparent in our community. We have nothing to hide, and that's great too. So. Well, aside from that, we also are doing a meetup in Florida. Any of you guys going to that? I think Pulse, you're going to that, right?
I'm up in the air, man. I need to iron out the details.
Brother, you gotta come, man. Let me buy you a drink out there.
Well, I'm gonna have to make a weekend.
Now.
Word up. If I come, I'm making a weekend out of it for sure. Because
man, listen,
I want to stay on a few days.
Anyone that knows Florida in March will tell you that it's tropical weather. It's not too hot. It's not too cold. It's not humid. It's perfect. And we have a lot of people coming right now. There's a lot of members coming to this event. A lot of known faces are coming to this event. People flying in. It's not just locals. Like, there's people flying in for this. And I'm really excited to meet a lot of these guys because they're not just regular community members. These are the guys that are out doing it. And I'm really excited to meet them and brainstorm some ideas for the future here. Not to mention, it is piggybacked on the grand opening of one of my stores. So it's going to be a beautiful day all around for sure. But the date here, March 18th, 11 a.m. is kind of when the official event starts, but we'll be there way before that. If you guys are in the area, you can come anytime. We'll have a DJ there. There'll be food and drinks, adult beverages, of course.
Nice.
Lots of love and positivity because that's who we are. Not to mention cars. Lots of sexy cars out there. It is a car show and a grand opening first and foremost. But the meetup, it plays right into that. And we'll be doing some giveaways. I know that the Future is Cheap Now is giving me a box of hats and other gear that we can hand out at the event and future events. So that was very nice of him as well. So if you guys can make it, the address is right there on that flyer. I'll be there personally. Many other people will. So we really hope that you can make it for sure.
What about as far as like recording? Are you going to have like people
recording
the video?
So I'm hiring a photographer and a videographer for my event, and I'm going to just have him get a lot of PulseBitcoin content. We're also going to do a live stream from there as well, kind of a check-in because Sammy will be doing his. It's a Saturday, and that's when he does his show. So we'll actually be doing a live check-in with him as well, which will be kind of cool. So yeah, you guys will be able to see it if you're not there, but ain't nothing like the real thing. So if you can make it, please do. We'll take good care of you. We're definitely going to be going out one of the nights for dinner or something like that, just to kind of go out and enjoy the weather and enjoy Florida in general. So I hope you can make it. All right. So, well, that being said, we got some big things going on in India, if you haven't been watching. And I would like to kind of show a video here that came from Sony out in India. And, well, let's play this video that he put together.
hear I scream. He's a mama's boy, the ladies love him. Doesn't make him anything, but that dick, most of all anyone's brain. And like a magic, you try to pull him down. You can never miss a mark. Don't start a war, now with the rocking star.
Worldwide.
World freaking wide, man. Shout out to Sony for that, man. He look, a lot of people took this whole onboarding India thing as a joke. Like it's funny that, oh, you're bringing on the poorest country in the world. That's bullshit, man. That is complete bullshit. Those guys are out there. They're doing big things. They're onboarding businessmen. Like, there's money out there. And if you don't know that, then you need to educate yourself. So,
and on top of that, he ratios like any American, like aside from Gunther, like he gets more views faster than anyone in our current community.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah, shout out to him. Gunther's got a contest running right now for another giveaway for this onboarding of India. And, you know, hey, maybe Sony's going to win. It's not over yet. So there's still people creating content. And we love seeing what's coming out of there. You guys are very talented. You're passionate. And, man, it's just really cool to see what's going on out there. You know, we're not alone out here, and it's great. So what country's next, guys? Let's talk about that. Where should we go next?
Well, as far as the how many international Telegram chats are we got? India. Is there a Chinese one? I think there might be a China.
Yeah, there's China, UK, of course, India. Those are the three that I know off the top of my head. But there, we did a poll in Telegram, right? And it was really interesting to see how many people were coming from different countries, man. Yeah, Zog, if you can pull up that little statistic, man, that'd be phenomenal. Because it only does exactly what it does. So keep on working out there, guys. Get the word out. Word of mouth is free. Doesn't cost anything to do this. And what, again, I'm going to go back to this ASIC chart. And it looks like we're getting a little bit of on-stream pump here, boys. I'd like to take credit for that personally, if you don't mind. What do we got? A couple buys coming in right now. We're up to 94 cents, which, hey, man, if you're not dollar cost averaging right now, you're missing out. These are perfect prices to onboard. I personally feel that it's a bottom. No financial advice, of course, but I feel it in my bones that there's some whales down there protecting the price, and we're definitely seeing a lot of that right now. So feel confident in onboarding people at these prices. It's not like bringing them in at the top, right? How many of us did that?
Right. And that's the thing about onboarding, man. Like onboarding doesn't necessarily mean like, hey, you're some telemarketer and you need to start trying to shill this. Like, I onboarded like 5 or 6 people that are friends, right? Like that's how I choose to do it. Some people, have, YouTube channels, or maybe they make money do it. I just do it because I like helping my friends. And I think it's genuinely a good idea, right? I don't get anything out of it. I get nothing out of it, but I think it's a good investment. I think it'll change their life. So I help them do it. Like, if you really believe it and you don't tell your friends and family, like, now don't get me wrong. I'm not necessarily telling my whole family about crypto, because baby steps, and you don't want to come on too hard. But if you really believe in it, then you should share it with people. It doesn't have to mean you start calling every great aunt up and start ranting about crypto, but onboarding really does help. If you onboard 1 or 2 people and then they do the same thing, it really is exponential growth. And with a grassroots community like this, that's how it has to happen.
Absolutely.
I'm pulling up the poll right now here. Just 1 second. I did find it. It was kind of buried a little bit.
I'll approve you when you post it up there. So we already covered this stuff here, but again, tomorrow, big day for Rob, that's for sure. So we got some stats here. Zog is a machine, by the way. I just want you guys all to know that. He spent a lot of time digging up some stuff for this stream today.
Yeah, he
And
brought slides in. I'm like, damn, dude.
this guy is
I
official.
was like, dude, slides? Holy.
He makes us look good, man. I will say this though. So let's be honest. This is our first stream, and I'm happy that it didn't shut off yet. I'm just happy that we made it this far. But I will say this: we're putting some value into production here coming very soon, and hopefully by next stream it's together. But Zog got some really cool stuff that he's been working on. And well, it might make the rest of us step up our game in how we present too. But nice. I'm looking forward to future streams here for sure, creating some entertainment value. But
so I have the stats over here. Whenever you're ready to share,
I see it. Let me put that on here. There you go, buddy.
Very cool. Yeah, okay, perfect. Yeah, let's look at this here. So
yeah, there's the poll. First off, how many people voted? What do we got there? 149 votes. So it's still young. You know, you got 9,000 people in the group there, so it's still young. But well, yeah, go ahead. Tell us what you see.
Well, yeah, I'm a really stats and data driven guy, which is why what a good portion of those slides there is stats and stuff like fundamental analysis, right? Yeah. You have like what's in the white paper, very easy to digest and stuff like that. But then we start looking at it's like, well, where's everybody at when we're starting to work on onboarding a community, start building regional leadership. Like Fat Sammy, great dude, man. Like he's so motivated to like build this community and stuff. He put this initial poll out there and was looks like we got basically the US and the rest of Europe. So we're gonna I think we should do a meetup in Europe. Like I know that people were talking about it and stuff. I was like, man, I'll fly out there. But overall, I think Europe is probably the next target audience that we should try to be reaching out to.
Yeah, for sure, man, for sure. So yeah, Europe is coming real close to second place, which, you know, look, that's huge. I wish it was a little more micro targeted what exactly in the rest of Europe that means. But yeah, the point is we're growing, right, rapidly. So
I mean, even to get 149 votes, that's, I mean, as far as statistical average is concerned, you only technically need 36 to be to have a good spread. I like to gain valuable data. 150 is like, okay, that's probably pretty reflective of what the looks like. You can see up here at the top, just under 9,300 members. Mm-hmm. That's probably a pretty good spread of that pool.
What's pop over to the voice chat real quick. How many people are jamming in there right now?
Looks like 6, probably because they're tuning into this.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised. I figured usually the it announces on the chat that we're doing a stream and then people just move over. So
absolutely. Hey, so apparently Sony already won. Did that end? I didn't even know this. How did I miss this? So now he gets to pick the second and third winner. When was this announced? How did I miss this? I've been under a rock, I guess.
I didn't know that.
You guys know about this?
No.
I just found out. So as long as Satoshi ain't lying, apparently Sony already won, which is phenomenal. So congrats, Sony, for that, buddy. You know, he's like you said, just getting started. So we're really excited to kind of see what comes out of India. You guys are doing big things out there. So Zog, let's talk on the halving stuff, man, because we are very, very, very close. So yeah, what do you think about this? What's going to happen? What do you see it?
So I'm a big ASIC guy, but like you asked the question earlier, like PulseBitcoin or ASIC. I'm more of an ASIC guy between the two of them. I think they're both great assets and stuff, but I like the lower risk associated with ASIC because like I buy ASIC, I maintain the value, like the demand for it constantly goes up. And then it gives me a highly value, like a store value asset, that being PulseBitcoin. It's like, that's a win-win in my book. It's like a twofer. Right. And as we get closer to the halving here, like we got it's May 10th is the current estimate or whatever.
Right now. Mm-hmm.
The thing that I hit on in the Telegram chat a lot is like, okay, in order for people to maintain their current like output, like quantity of PulseBitcoin, they're going to have to double their ASIC bags. That's like a built-in pump right there.
Absolutely.
I know if I were a whale, I'm like, I'm not going to give up my ability to continue to produce trustless yield every month. And then for like the PulseBitcoin side of things, I think like when people say that PulseBitcoin is a dump token, it's like, okay, well, is Bitcoin a dump token? Like, is legacy Bitcoin a dump token? The answer is no. And well, why is that? Well, like, we're reducing the sell pressure by 50% every halving cycle. And what we got going for us is like, it's a 6 to 12 month halving cycle currently. And it's like, okay, well, cool. Like here, as soon as we hit the halving, like unless you doubled your ASIC position, you are like, you just lost half of your dumping power. So you have to play the game in order to continue dumping on me. And in which case I'm still buying anyways, but whatever, you know.
What do you think, Dojo?
Well, if you're gonna call it a dump token, then this is the dumpiest it will ever be. Is pre-halving, just like you said. 50% of the supply is going to be minted before the first halving. So you can see there's about 3 months left of that. 50% of the entire supply ever. And then half every time. So it scales down. If it's going to be a dump token, it will never be more of a dump token now. So this is your opportunity to buy a bunch at the bottom if you are so inclined, if you want to buy more. And just know that as it goes on, people are going to, the 7.5% is going to get cut in half. Then it's going to get cut in half and cut in half and cut in half. And pretty soon the thing you thought was a dump token is way scarcer and you can't get it anymore. Right.
Yeah, man. I mean, look, I don't know what's going to happen either. Do people stack their ASIC to mine more PulseBitcoin because the value is going to go up and the yield is worth more? Sure. Are people going to dump ASIC and buy PulseBitcoin? Sure. We don't know. There's so many ways to play this. I do have to say that the devs in this community are really putting a lot of effort into keeping all the coins valuable. And that's commendable because I think personally, I'm always going to be an ASIC guy. I love PulseBitcoin, of course, because that's the end game, right? But I'm very partial to my ASICs, you know, from burning all my doggies to this. Now that's what holds its value in my life. And so anytime that we can create some things to make that ecosystem a little more bullish or that coin more bullish, I'm all for it. So I don't know if you guys feel the same, but
I'd say that that's probably, if I had to, the prevailing strategy seems to be for people to prefer ASIC. I'd say that maybe 75%, if not more, maybe from my perspective, kind of feel that way, which is understandable because it's the one that gives you something else, right? I mean, I totally get it.
Right. I'd like to hear from the chat too. So if you guys, I'd like to know what your top three are. You know, put them in the chat in order of what your favorite to least favorite is. Just kind of curious. You know, that would be a good poll to run in the Telegram too, to just kind of see where people's heads are at. But yeah, I'm an ASIC guy for sure. Zog, you're a pimp, buddy. You got some fans out here, man. That's great. So let's go to the next slide and see what we got going on here. Zog, you can explain this one.
Sure. Yeah. Like one of my, this is one of the things that I've learned from Gunther is to, and it's actually become more popular in crypto in general, is to look at the liquidity, right? There are only three things that really matter as far as price is concerned. Three major things that are that influence the price of a token or a coin. Is as buyers, sellers, and liquidity, right? So if there's more buyers than there are sellers, price goes up. If there's more sellers than there are buyers, then price goes down. And like as far as quantity, right? And then the liquidity portion of it, especially when we're talking Uniswap v3, that just enhances it, right? It's a catalyst. If it's really, really thick liquidity, then the price it's really hard to move that price. If it's thin liquidity, well, stand by. That price is about to moon or dip, right? And then so when we look at this here, top portion in the table there, you get the asset, and you can kind of see at a snapshot. This was taken right before the live stream today, as far as like how much ASIC is for sale. And what this means to me is like, okay, if I am, that first LP there for USDC might be a little bit off, but that's okay. But the point is that like how much ASIC is actually out there for sale. You know, how can a whale actually accumulate a whole position here? Let me take a look here because I want to know the accurate number here. I have it pulled up.
Also, so Pulse Dojo, do you understand this? What you're looking at here with the liquidity? So
I I understand the basics. I mean, showing open positions on Uniswap and just where buys and sells are and the spread of everything. But
So,
I'm not a liquidity provider myself.
Okay, so what I want to just kind of, because we may have some new viewers in here, etc. Obviously, what we're looking at, the red line there, that vertical line is current price. And so Zog, to the right, you got what, man? Break this down. What exactly? How would you read this chart if you were kind of new into crypto? If you wanted to play the game a little.
Sure. Actually, can I present on slides?
Yeah, sure. Let's do it.
Because I wanted to be able to point with my arrow or whatever here.
You want this slide, or you have something else you're going to pull up here?
No, this is fine. Whatever. Oops, there we go. Because I was hoping to point with my little pointer arrow on here, but that's okay. I'll talk.
Where do you want it, buddy? Can you see my my mouse?
I cannot. That's okay. Yeah, I can walk through it verbally. Okay. So let's look at the below it there. You got that kind of like the spread, right? And each little vertical line there is a tick. And essentially, when a person wants to go in and provide liquidity, and in Uniswap v3, you can do one of two things. Either A, you can provide one-sided liquidity. You can provide two-sided liquidity. One-sided liquidity means like, okay, let's say that I'm a buyer and I have I don't know, 10,000 USDC that I want to put in. And what I'll do is on that one that says current, I will put in my LP in a given range that I want to do. So that way, when the price goes down into that range, I start earning fees within that range.
And so from the left of that red line would be a lower price or higher price?
Price down. Mm-hmm. And then so on the moving to the right of that red line is all of the ASIC that is currently for sale and its current distribution. So once you start getting past, I think it's about like $3 or whatever, the sell side liquidity drops off very significantly. It becomes much harder. Right now,
with the math in this, what are we looking at for buys to break through some of these sell orders here?
Actually, it's interesting that you brought that up here. So last week here, look at if you look at that red line, there was those ticks to the right of that was originally holding up the price when the price of ASIC was just hovering like basically right at $1. It was holding up the price. And if we look at the current liquidity pool, that sell wall, because it got eaten through, now we're below $1. And then whoever was providing LP pulled that out. And so now it's no longer sell pressure. So it's much easier for the price to move up and to the right now. And if I remember correctly, we were looking at something like, about $200,000 of net buy pressure in order to get us near the all-time highs. So it's really not all that much.
Yeah, we're not far away. A little bit more onboarding, some more breadcrumbers. All it takes is that one whale to just see the value in this ecosystem. And you're going to see a pump for sure.
And if I may here, so like that where it says LP USDC there, like there was a typo in that. There is
where'd that comma go? Was that 172?
Just ignore that number. I don't know what happened there, but 173,000 ASIC is for sale in the USDC pool. So 173 plus 58,000 plus 30,000, right? So there is enough for one whale position.
Absolutely.
And so I was like, wow, so if you're somebody sees this and they're a whale and they're interested, you're going to want to get it sooner than later, because otherwise it's simply not going to be for sale. Or a handful of sharks. I think a shark position is 20,000 ASIC or something like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So not a whole lot there. One other thing that is of note, max total supply. We see 1.3 million ASIC. And so that is the amount of ASIC that is not in the mines. And Correct. So those are people that have it available. They can, maybe it'll throw it in the mines. I know there's a lot of people that are accumulating their ASIC before they put it in there because the fees are so expensive right now.
Right.
But yeah, that's an interesting stat that I track as well.
Very nice. Very nice.
To the right there, you see that black square. It says current. So that was taken here or right before this stream as far as buyers and sellers, right? We want to what we want to see here is we want to see the number of for the number of transactions. Are there more buy orders than there are sell orders? These are market orders. Mm-hmm. What is the volume looking like? And the volume's actually gone up. I think it's like 200,000 ASIC and volume, which is pretty significant. And then also what I probably look at the most here is the number of buyers versus the number of sellers. Like in this picture here, we got 52 buyers versus 35 sellers. Mm-hmm. What that's telling me is like, okay, especially when you look at like the bar graphs there, right? So we have like $105,000 worth of ASIC in sell pressure. So it's outweighing the buy pressure, but that's only coming from 35 sellers versus 52 buyers. So that tells me it's like there are some people with maybe a little bit larger bags that aren't, they don't believe in the project as much, but there are more people like the fish, so to speak, right. Like maybe the squids, maybe some of the turtles and stuff that recognize the value and they're starting to buy it up.
Yeah, it's a change of the guard. So like, you have whales exiting and you got a lot more people coming in to replace them. And I'll take that all day long because those guys can multiply, right? If you got 20 people and they talk to a couple people, that's going to multiply a lot faster than one whale that honestly, let's be honest, there's a lot of whales that are probably stingy with their investments. They don't really share a lot of information because they're just in it for themselves. So I like adding more members than necessarily the economic energy that comes with it for long term.
Yeah. And I think that's what people are talking about, like X, Y, whatever, fill in the blank, crypto is decentralized and stuff like that. The thing that's nice about that, I understand like the value of centralized ownership and stuff like that, holding up the price. But when you have it spread out amongst a bunch of people, well, like an individual person cannot necessarily like drop the price. They can right now, because it's like the liquidity is so thin, we're so new and stuff. But once that starts spreading out to everybody and like, there's only a handful of people with a significant amount of ASIC and the liquidity starts to thicken up with time as we mature, then it takes a lot more people to decide like, yep, I want to dump this price in a meaningful way. Absolutely.
An interesting stat here from PLSD Thailand that when we arrive at the 17th halving for PulseBitcoin, it'll take 1,747,626 ASIC to mine a single Pulse Bitcoin in a 30-day period. Just think about that for one second.
There might not even be any ASIC tokens left at that point.
I would say. But just think about that for 1 second, and I mean, hey, that's 17 halvings away. But even if you take half of that, like it's still a lot. I mean, this thing is just accelerated. With the accelerated halvings, it's Bitcoin's on steroids. So I absolutely love it.
I'll be happy just to be alive and breathing at that point, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess it depends on how many people are using the system here, but I mean, that's got to be 10 years from now, maybe? I don't know what. I can't even do that math right now because it's impossible to know who's going to be using it, but it's a long time away. I would say that for sure. And Satoshi, whales not exiting, it's bad whales. I would agree with that. Something interesting today. So I woke up this morning to Richard's tweet, and right away I'm like, here we go. It's time to dump ASIC and watch Hex pump. And it didn't really happen. I didn't really see a whole lot of FOMO going back into Hex, which, however you feel about that, doesn't matter. But I was kind of curious by that. Like I figured, every tweet that he puts out, it's going to create a little FOMO. And I think maybe people are just kind of over that stage and they're more just waiting for the official V3 announcement. So what do you guys think?
Boy who cried wolf. Boy.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So maybe that's the reason that Richard's been so quiet, is because if you don't have a whole lot to say, why keep repeating yourself, right? Like you're going to kind of wait until you have something interesting to talk about. But yeah, boy crying wolf could be it. What do you guys think about that, though?
Well, I think that I mean, it's kind of funny to watch his streams. I mean, I like Richard Hart. I learned a lot from that man.
Oh, all of us, absolutely.
But at the same time, he's kind of he's a victim of his own critics, of his own criticisms. Actually, he talked a lot of smack on Cardano, like just launch it, and now it's not here. And as far as Pulse Chain goes, we're close now. I hope. But I remember like a year and a half ago, I was like, oh man, like we're getting ready to go. Like I'm going to be a free man here before too long. And then like it was like mid-May, the mid-May catastrophe. I was like, dude, I just kind of I didn't check out from crypto, but I took what he had to say a lot less into account. And I was like, just let me know when it's here, man. Just like, I want to.
Exactly. I think we're all tired of the excitement. Like, just bring it on already. Like, tell me when it's ready. I don't need to have these hopes of a great time all day long. I can't wait every single day. I mean, there's influencers out there that are like, it's 2 weeks away. It's 2 weeks away. And they keep saying it. And it's just like, come on, man. Like, it's not 2 weeks away.
Well, and let me share this as well. Like, if everybody thinks like it's like once V3 like launches, it's going to pump. And I'm like, okay, let me think about this. I'm not a whale, but I try to think like one, I guess. Eventually I'll be a whale someday, I guess. It's like, if I were going to buy up a position, I would have done that already. I would have bought when it was low, when there was
exactly
thick
1.5 cents. Right.
Yep. And there was super thick sell side liquidity. Now there's no liquidity. Like, does a whale really want to push the price against himself?
Well, here's the other side of that narrative. And again, listen, we are not here to talk shit about Hex. So any of you guys in the chat, don't even take it that way. This is just literally game theory that we're talking about right now. But my thoughts, and this is something in the Hex community too. It's not, I didn't create this idea. But, everyone feels that once the announcement is closer, people are going to front run and they're going to sell their EHEX position and they're going to hold until it's time to buy the PHEX. Because realistically, pulling out now and buying it over there at those prices, you're going to get a lot more PHEX than just holding and waiting for a copy where potentially you could have the value just deflate right before your eyes. Because when it moves, it's going to move fast. Right? Just think about that. The waterfall, you got one guy that pulls his stuff and then the next guy, and next thing you know, this giant waterfall, possibly back down to 1.5 cents. Who knows? I don't have a crystal ball, but I mean, I just know math, and the obvious thing is that you're going to get a lot more coins just purchasing on the market, right, than getting your copy. What do you guys think about that? Is that taboo to talk about? I know it probably is, but I don't care.
Well, I think it's one of those, like, I think that's what I really like about our community. It's like, right, we can point out the facts, share ideas, and whether it's on Hex or not, like, we're all Hexicans here. Like, let's be real. Like, the vast majority of us are, and we're trying to spread out beyond that because we have our own unique product with unique product market fit. And I will say this with regards to the like which way Hex may or may not go. Like, all I got to say is like, hey, don't take on leverage, just don't do it. Don't buy crypto on leverage in any way, shape, or form. And be comfortable what it is that you're buying. Like, if you believe in Hex, more power to you, dude. Like, pump that price. I got bags over there too. If you believe in this project, buy these bags and be comfortable with either way. Be comfortable with the price, and be comfortable with like where the price could go. Like, I was thinking it was Dollar Cost Crypto was talking about the asymmetrical bet, right? Like right now, I mean, the whole point of crypto in general is to buy low and sell high. Let's look at the ASIC price. Like, we're kind of near the all-time lows and stuff. That's a fact. It's like, okay, so what's my downside risk? Maybe 20%. Well, what's my upside potential? Well, we were at $2, and like we're basically almost $3 or whatever we were at before. It's like, well,
356, I think, is the top. If I'm not mistaken. 356, I think, was our all-time high. I could be wrong, but that's what Dex Screener says.
So over a 3x to the upside just to get to all-time high. It's like, okay, so that's, to me, it's like, that's a no-brainer. Like, why would I buy a local top to when I could buy a local bottom?
The odds are with you. I mean, they really are with you to buy right now.
Yeah.
Regarding the Pulse Chain launch, man, like on the one hand, there's like you said, Zombie, you can really see how people would be inclined to dump their EHEX for the PHEX if they can, and liquidity and everything. You also, one of the prevailing theories is that so many more people sacked for PulseX that they're going to dump their PulseX for PLS because that's what they actually want, and they were just late. And those things make sense, but here's the wild card here is, dude, this Pulse chain launch and like first 48 hours, or I'll say even maybe month or longer, is going to be the most unpredictable shit show in crypto history. Like, honestly,
man, we can't wait for it, bro. Like this,
like honestly. So like, dude, I really think that like there's so many smart like analytical positions to take, and they're valid, and I think it's worthwhile. But I still think that it's going to be such chaos that, and the end result is probably going to be something that you do not see coming. And you know, especially given like liquidity and like Wix, like what does liquidity even mean in the first like 10 minutes, right? Like, dude, you have to rely on that AMM bot to do all its stuff. It's like, dude, anybody who thinks that they like know how this stuff's gonna trigger, I don't think anybody really. I doubt that Pulse Chain devs really even know what's going to happen.
No, man. There's just so many angles to play. Like, you never know. And you're dealing with a lot of people too. So like, there's going to be ratio trading and other stuff. So like, it's just going to be an exciting time for everybody. Super excited.
And for my strategy, like I've taken some good licks during the bear market. And my strategy now is a whole lot of do nothing. Like
that's the safest bet, bro. Safest bet.
I've got my positions. I am completely comfortable with whatever way it goes. Like I have chased pumps before. It's like, oh man, if I just make this one trade, then I get this, and then I'm good. Then I'm like, fuck.
Absolutely. And look, at the end of the day, like, you know, we're all ERC20s. Well, not all of us, but I'm saying like most of these communities that we're affiliated with are ERC20s. So choose what team you want to go into Pulse Chain with. You know, they all are getting copies. So if you want some ratio trading and value over there, you don't necessarily have to have Hex. You don't have to have PulseBitcoin. You want to carry SHIB through, that's going to be there. So I think it's very interesting to kind of see in the first day or two before the actual real bridges are open, all the ratio trading. I don't know if you guys kind of followed the whole testnet V3 to kind of see what it might play out to be, just based on people's emotions and playing around in there. It constantly changes, though. I think PulseX was like the third top traded coin, and etc. Hex was number one, whatever. But it's just interesting to kind of think about what could happen.
I think the best way to play that whole launch, man, like, look, I sacrificed a pretty good chunk of money for these things, and I'm not really interested in playing with that money. Like, I'm of the opinion, dude, I'll take the lowest possible dump you can get in the beginning. I will be happy to buy that. I think the safest way to play it is to keep your SAC funds and buy any dips with new money, and you'll cover yourself pretty good doing that. Now, the biggest winners will be the people who ratio trade and do it right, and the biggest losers will be the people that ratio trade and do it wrong. And I don't trust myself to really play it. So that's how I see it. If you're more adept,
PLSD Thailand just literally mirrored what you just said. A whole lot of do nothing. So
yeah, dude, just be ready to buy a dip, dude. If Pulse Chain, if these tokens launch at 10x, I mean, I would be happy if they dip from that, man. Like, honestly,
well, listen,
dude,
they're gonna dip. Let's be honest. It's been 2 years that people FOMO'd into a sacrifice that they didn't have the money for, right? Because when we FOMO'd in, we were at the bull market, right? Prices look good. We had money, and so people just dumped money into this thing, and now they're like, shit, I'm broke. And so when that Pulse Chain hits, I guarantee you there's going to be a ton of dumping. But to counteract that, there's going to be a lot of people that didn't get in early, and so they're gonna be the ones that buy it all back up. So it's going to be, I don't think we're going to see a long dip in that particular asset. But again,
you're talking about, you're potentially just, you know, wicks that are seconds, minutes long. I don't know. Like,
for sure,
when I say dump, I don't mean the dump and then, you know, a year of dump. I mean, get it over with and then moon.
It's going to be real quick, I think, personally.
But yeah, I think if you didn't sack, man, I don't think you need to start crying. I think if you play it safe and maybe just make a couple buys over the first few days, weeks, months, you'll be fine. I don't think it's over if you didn't sack.
So let me ask you guys a question, both of you. So, knowing that ASIC, PulseBitcoin, and Pulse Doge are coming over as well, of course you'll have your copy, but let's be honest. Which coin are you guys going to buy first? Like ground level, where do you want to get in first?
Man, my answer is kind of the same as it always. Like I would be focused on Pulse Doge, honestly.
Okay.
Like
right.
it doesn't really change for me.
Right on. What about you, Zab?
That's a loaded question.
It is a loaded question.
I was like, man, I love ASIC. It's great. I think my first initial answer is, well, what's on sale? Like, what's on the biggest sale? Mm-hmm. Maybe I'll buy that. But there is something like I have never really been a meme coin guy, right? Until Pulse Dogecoin, because I remember when it launched and it was a very like Hex Info did a great, like it was very creative with how he distributed that. And I was like, that's really cool. And I did the whole like whatever free money, sell it, and then I put it into a different sack phase, and then I actually ended up flipping that. That worked out pretty good in the long run. But then then I saw the ASIC and PulseBitcoin launch. I was like, man, I feel like an idiot. Like that's where the whole lot of do nothing is like the best crypto strategy.
So I got a question, and maybe this sounds like a noob question, but I got to know the answer. So being that let's just be honest. Obviously Pulse Chain is not going to come out next week, so it's probably going to be after our first halving. That being said, when the copy happens, or when the copy of the system happens, will we begin from zero halvening, or will it leave off from the first halvening of the E-Hex system? Or I'm sorry, the E-Pulse Bitcoin system.
So whatever the system state is in, wherever we're at, like that point in time, that's where we pick up. That's where we pick up when we. I'm trying to.
So it's an exact snapshot of the time. Gotcha.
Yeah. Because I was actually thinking about it, because like with Hex, like there's going to be the snapshot. Then you got like two parallel universes as far as T-share rate is concerned, but we don't have that. Like we will. No, actually we would. It would actually be two different parallel universes, because it depends on who is mining and stuff. Like how much ASIC is actually mining.
True. Yeah, because they'll move at different rates, right? So
yep, that's it.
It'll be exactly the same, when the fork happens, but then, people's mining behavior will influence them separately.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a little bit more active personally on the Pulse Chain side, just because.
100%. Because I mean, think about it this way, man. Like if you want to buy some more ASIC on Ethereum, the gas fees suck so bad that you're probably gonna do it closer to when your first miner comes due, so you can consolidate and just have one miner. On Pulse Chain, you won't care. That will be completely irrelevant. If you buy ASIC that day, you should start mining that day, because the fees are going to be negligible. So all you're doing is missing out unless you do that.
Right.
So it's going to, people's behavior will be drastically different. It'll be different in Hex. People will do much more shorter stakes in Hex than they do on Ethereum because of the fees. It will change. It will, sure.
Understood. For me personally, I think I would make my stakes longer, because knowing that could be like the last hurrah, at least for now. There could be a whole nother new network once the Pulse Chain fees get out of control. So locking up for 15 years could put you in a predicament.
And dude, that's a valid point, man. If Pulse Chain's successful, it could very well down the road have the same problem that Ethereum's having. Who knows?
Well, that depends on the crypto market cap. If there's more people coming in, more people using systems, we're just going to have to keep creating new vehicles and new highways and stuff, right? So interesting to follow in the next couple of years. So it looks like Tyrannosaurus Hex says that Hex Info said that he'll have a front end ready, so that we can continue to mine right away. And that's great, of course. Don't want to miss a day of mining. For sure. There's actually a comment in here that I want to address, if I can find it. So it comes from Andre Pop, and when we were talking about the ASIC chart and how it was kind of hitting its bottom right now, Some people believe this to be true, and I'm not one of those guys, but I can understand the feeling, the sentiment of the community to feel this way. But I would like to address this because, I have talked to some insiders. I do have a call scheduled with Gunther, as a matter of fact, now that he's done traveling. But it was one of my concerns. I'm not going to lie. When he put a date out there and stuff, I was nervous. Like, hey, this is our leader, our fearless leader. And even though some of us are now, joining the fight, no one wants to see the captain go down, right? Even if it is time for him to kind of take a break. He's put a lot of work in. The dude's got a family, right? He's got plenty of money, plenty of crypto. He doesn't really need to buy any new coins or do anything like this. So he can pretty much sit on his hands at this point. So I totally understand where he's coming from, 100%. But I need people to understand also that we're not losing any ground, and Gunther's not leaving, right? He's not leaving. He is literally just leaving social media, which honestly, I think that's one of the most healthiest things you can ever do. I wish that I could leave social media outright. If it wasn't for my businesses that I need those things to promote, I probably wouldn't even be on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram. But again, he's not leaving the ecosystem. He's simply just leaving the public eye. Some people just don't want to be constantly in the limelight, and I totally get it. So just know that there's a lot other people out there that have been in crypto for a while, that have onboarded people like myself. I come from Hex, Hex onboarding. That's what I was known for. And, I knew Gunther back then. And so now we're in a new community where we're doing the same things that we were doing there, except I don't see myself going anywhere else. Like, this is my home, right? This is where I need to be from here on out. And so, yeah, don't have any fear. Gunther's not going to rug us. He's not going to just pull his money out of the ecosystem. That's obvious, first off. I mean, who locks up this much PulseBitcoin knowing that they're just going to leave tomorrow? Doesn't make any sense at all. So
it's the exact opposite. Yeah. I mean, if it's verifiably locked up. I mean, if he was, I mean, that's ridiculous.
And being that I don't have any YouTube etiquette, I'm the interviewer that will ask whatever I feel like asking. I plan on getting Gunther on stream and asking those hard questions and watching his eyes and his body language to make sure he's not lying. But I know in my heart that and just talking to him off the cuff here, that he's not going anywhere. So,
well, the blockchain doesn't lie, right?
Yeah,
so
that's for
with
sure.
The PulseBitcoin locked, all the ones that he did, there is no emergency unstake feature for that. Like, it's a one-way street. You like, the only way to get that crypto out is to complete the term.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. That's it. Can't do anything. Your money's tied up. And like I said, he doesn't need to sell. I know this guy's wallet, man. Everyone knows his wallet that came from Hex because he doxed himself. And now we see what he's done. And he ain't doing anything weird. I can say that. His money is literally sitting still right now, except for the lockups, of course. So yeah, don't worry about that. And like PLSD said about Gunther here, when all this SEC shit happened, let's be honest, people got a little nervous and they were like, all right, we're gonna back off. We don't want to have eyes on us. We don't want to be looked at as financial advisors when we don't have the certs for this. So a lot of people are kind of just stepping back a little bit. And I get it. I get it completely. But fear not, we are here, and we got a whole new team of guys that are going to pop up. And guys, I want to thank you for coming on today, Zog and Pulse Dojo. I know we've talked off stream a lot about, kind of just getting out there. It's been intimidating to just jump out there and become a streamer all of a sudden. But it seems like you guys are very passionate about it. And I want to thank you for stepping up and getting on here and doing the uneasy thing, putting yourself out there. And hopefully one day we can see your gorgeous faces, so it's not just my dumb face up here the whole time. But
yeah, I appreciate it for sure. And yeah, man, I've been in crypto since I think 2018. This is the first time I've ever really been involved in this type of capacity. So yeah, it's
Right.
something special for sure, and I enjoy it, and we'll see where it goes. You know, I'd like to continue doing it.
Absolutely. So guys, we're coming up on an hour and 55 minutes. Could you believe that it would go this long and nothing turned off? We didn't lose sound. Everything went smooth. Unbelievable. I know we all talked
Did a
about
bang up
like,
job.
yeah.
You're
I'm
doing
gonna
great,
pat us on the back for this one. We made it.
Very good. Very good.
So
I will
yeah,
say,
final.
like,
Go ahead, Zach.
I was gonna say, like, you and I were talking. It's like, hey, we need to be concise and try to keep it to like an hour, and like 2 hours has passed by like it's nothing. Like, this has been a blast.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's all it is. Fun. I'm not looking at the charts. I'm not looking at the prices. I know it's going to come. We're still in a bear market. Let's be honest. You can see that in the charts across the board. So just hang in there. Like, we're doing what we got to do. Is anybody else doing what we're doing right now, except for maybe Hex? I don't think so. I don't know anyone that's doing this onboarding push that we're doing. So when that bear market is over, guys, just be ready. People will put their money back into the system, and you'll feel it. So buy at these prices, 94 cents right now, ASIC. Let's check the other charts too. PLSB, 86 cents. PLSD, 342. So they're all kind of at their bottoms right now, and this is a good time to definitely get involved. So guys, any other last thoughts here before we wrap this stream up here? Zog, you first, buddy.
Oh man, any last thoughts? Man, we've covered a lot here. I think if there's any like a parting shot that I want to leave with the community here is like, if anybody sees us now or in the future and gets excited, jump into the Telegram group, dude.
Absolutely.
Like there are like such great discussions, so many smart people in there, so many passionate people. It definitely it makes the day go by a lot faster for me. Like, whenever I'm just sitting at the office and I'm like, okay, I don't want to work on this, like whatever it is I'm doing for work. Like, let me just jump into Telegram chat and see what they're talking about. It's always engaging. It's always fun. And that's actually what inspired me to start getting involved with the community, was just the great discussions on there, and now what we're carrying over into the YouTube side of things.
Absolutely. And speaking for myself, I've made a lot of friends in this community. We're like-minded individuals, so we connect very easily on many different things. Freedom being one of them. Financial freedom more than anything. And I feel like our community, out of all the communities, is the most awake with the temperature of the economy, the temperature of everything going on in world events. Like, we're absolutely awake. We know where we need to be and what we need to be doing. And that's getting out of the legacy financial system, getting into crypto, which is peer-to-peer, man, because that's the way to go in the future, 100%. Pulse Dojo, anything you want to add there, brother?
I think his comments about the Telegram chat are spot on. That's what really made me fall in love with this community.
Absolutely.
Yeah, join the Telegram, pop on the voice chat once in a while. If nothing else, it will assure you that this is an organic community of real people, which I think in crypto is one of the best things you can do. I mean, there's coins and scams and pump and dumps and blah, 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 all this stuff popping up all over, and you don't know who to trust. Just hang out for a little while, man. You'll like, if nothing else, I can tell you right now that this stuff isn't a scam, isn't a rug pull. These people are real. I met a lot of them in Tampa. Just come hang out. That's all you got to do.
100%. And I speak for myself on this stream, at least, but I'm putting my face out here, boys. So I wouldn't do that if I thought that we were in a bad position, especially as being a local business owner.
Right on. No, that says a lot, man. That says a lot.
100%. Anyway, guys, it's been a great night. Absolutely love this stream here. Looking forward to doing more with you. Next Monday, I believe we're going to be doing another one, same time, right, Zog? You good for that one, Pulse Dojo?
Yeah,
cool.
I think I'm good, man.
Cool. We'll have a lot of new information to talk about. We don't like to recycle stuff. It's not interesting. So we'll have some more content for you guys, and I'm sure a lot of new things will happen this week, most likely. So we will see you next week, and please make sure to like and subscribe. It looks like we hit 500 subscribers on stream, which is pretty cool. But we got a long way to go, right? So guys, please like, share, subscribe. All these things are needed so that we can get the message out here, being the only channel right now. So we appreciate all that you do in the community. But have a great night, and we're going to end on this.
Less money at their disposal. The latest on inflation's up.
Life is hard, with rising inflation and a soaring cost of living. Bitcoin was a way to escape this, but now Bitcoin is dying. When Bitcoin started, you could use a laptop to mine it with just a few clicks. Now, Bitcoin has been hijacked by big money, making it impossible for the average user to make life-changing wealth. It's slow, it's outdated, and expensive. The world needs a better Bitcoin. The future is here, and the future is PulseBitcoin. Faster, more secure, non-polluting, and DeFi compatible. Old Bitcoin mining requires expensive mining rigs and costly energy bills, making it almost pointless. With PulseBitcoin, you can software mine by staking your ASIC tokens, utilizing proof-of-stake technology on the Etherium network. It's so easy to participate. Simply buy the ASIC token on Uniswap, then go to pulsebitcoin.app and set them to mine for 30 days. You'll earn 7.5% of the token amount in PulseBitcoin every 30 days. Don't want to mine? Easy. Simply buy PulseBitcoin on the open market and hold it as a powerful store of value. You are so early. This ecosystem is packed with tokenomics designed to drive the price up. Pay your future self by participating in the most aggressive, price-appreciating ecosystem in existence. A decentralized peer-to-peer Bitcoin, the way crypto was always meant to be. Go to pulsebitcoin.com. It's time for a better Bitcoin. It's time to make life-changing wealth.